Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Meadsyreplays and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at the T1 Heavy, an American Tier 5 heavy tank. I've been saying I'm going to review this tank for quite some time because it got buffed and now it is insane. It is completely insane. It is a seal clubber's dream of a tank. The armor got buffed and it's crazy. I mean, the front plate, you're looking at standard sort of upper plate 127 to 200, bottom plate sort of 83 millimeters. Obviously, the more you angle, the more that the stronger that this armor becomes. And just look how red, I mean, the top plate is. 164, 150. It all depends on how you angle. Your turret's pretty strong. Your sides are pretty strong. It's got all that spaced armor by the tracks. Other than that, the side armors are still okay. The rear armor not so good. But if you can get into the side scraping position, I mean, you can side scrape in this thing. Like side scrape, your side plate becomes nearly 400 millimeters of armor. Crazy. Nothing's going to pen you. Tier 10 is going to struggle to pen you that with that effective armor. It's crazy just how strong this tank is. I've always thought of this tank as good anyway. This tank has always been a good tank. The speed of this thing is crazy. It's really good. The armor has been really good. The DPM really good. The penetration really good. I mean, there we shot from the rear. We can't even see that tank, and we still managed to bounce from our rear. Now, because of the speed, I mean, we're going 35 to nearly, if you're going downhill, to 40 kilometers per hour. It's also great for ramming. I mean, that tank was only on 1 HP. Never gonna not do 1 HP from a ram. This an all-round great, fantastic tank. However, I don't really understand why it was buffed. I mean, Wargaming nerfed the KV-1 because it was too strong, especially for newer players in the game. But yet they buff the T1 Heavy. That was already a good tank. It was already a good tank. Now, I don't mind the buff. I really don't mind the buff. It's kind of good to see these lower tier tanks that are coming into the game. So, like, I mean, armor-wise, but was there any need to buff this tank? People don't really play, maybe because people don't really play the tank, but I'm sure I have made a review on the tank before, and I did state that it's actually a really good tank. And now, in my opinion, this is the best tier 5 in the game. Currently, right now, this is the best tier 5, probably now the most overpowered tier 5 in the entire game. I would rather run my T1 Heavy than my KV-220, and that's saying something because the KV-220 is an insane tank with its armor, but it really struggles with the speed and it really struggles with the penetration. This has everything. It has absolutely everything. It's kind of weird every time I play this tank because the gun is sort of to the right side of your turret. When you are shooting, you kind of see the shell fly past you, and it kind of it makes me look every time I actually shoot, and it just sort of puts you off a little bit. But once you get used to that, it's a fun tank to play, and I definitely would recommend buying this tank. If you haven't got it, I definitely recommend going to try it out. However, I wouldn't recommend going to seal clubbing the tank because it's seal clubbing. It's on my free-to-play account. I got to tier 5 within 30 or 40 battles, if that. So you're gonna be coming up against new players. So, I mean, don't seal club. Don't just get in this tank to farm your win rate. If you're not a very good player, if you're an average kind of player and you only stick to the bottom tiers, then I would definitely recommend this tank. If you're a more skilled player and you've never played this tank, then go play the tank just to play the tank, to say you really played it. Don't just sit there and play the tank non-stop because it's kind of OP now. Just go and have a little fun like I'm doing here. Like I'm just playing it to make some footage. Other people might be able to play it. Go back and play it if you have never played it to maybe try and get the ace, or just to, if you haven't grinded up this line. So very good tank, very good tank. The best, in my opinion, the best in tier 5. When you come up against tier 6, yes, you're gonna get penned, but when you come up against tier 4, hardly nothing is going to pen you. Now we're going to watch a game from Max on Mines next, and you're going to see he is top tier, and nothing, hardly anything, is going to get through. Now, as I've said, you have got the weak point at the bottom of your hull, but it's still difficult. The bottom of the hull, the little strip along the bottom, is not that hard. It's not that easy, sorry, to pen that. So people have to sort of stop, fully aim in, and while they're doing that, you're constantly doing damage, and they're wasting their DPM in having to do that and proper aim at the tank. So you can see this battle, we bounced nearly 1,000 damage. We finish on 2.5k damage. For a tier 5, that is a very good job, and you can see that just how good this tank is being lately, because that was only a first class. We completely carried the team, we get a few kills, and it was only a first class. So next up we have Max, and he's middle tier. He's not top tier or he's not bottom tier. It's literally a tier or a battle of just tier 5s. And this is a good tank for this. This is a good map for this tank. It's nice and small. If you can get this hill, it's got a little bit of gun depression. It's quite a tall tank as well, so you should be able to sort of get up close to these rocks here, and then you should just be able to poke over. So first up, he comes against the Nightmare. However, he does miss the shot, and he's Nightmare. God knows what he's doing, because he's literally just gone full in, and he's got wrecked. Like, literally, there goes his hit points. Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? I know it's only tier 5, so I'm not going to sort of judge anyone for their gameplay in tier 5, but considering it's a Nightmare tank, which was a free tank, I don't think he's a new player to the game. So this I would definitely recommend for a new player. I mean, this and the KV1, I would still recommend the KV1 for a new player. If you're a new player into the game and you're on sort of tier 4 or tier 3, or even if you're just very new to the game and you haven't even got sort of tier 2 or tier 3 or tier 4 yet, then this tank I would definitely recommend. It leads on to a good tech tree. The whole tech tree is pretty much a good tech tree. And it's quite easy to play. It is really easy to play with the speed. The KV1 is a very difficult tank to play. I'll say it's a very difficult tank. I think the KV1 is a lot tougher to play now than the T1 Heavy, just because of the speed of it. If a Leopard or an A20 or any fast tank comes at you when you're in a KV1, there's not much you're going to be able to do if he is circling you. However, if you're driving the T1 Heavy, it's going to be very, very difficult to circle, because the traverse is still good. It doesn't matter what tank you're going to be in, it's going to be difficult, almost impossible, to circle a T1 Heavy. Now, this game so far, Max has got 2 kills. He's got 2 kills and he's on 1,400 damage, and he's blocked 1,600 damage. He's blocked more than double his entire hit points, and he's actually going to block probably more than triple or more than quadruple his hit points in total. So you can see nothing when he's facing the enemy, or even angled at this kind of angle, which is good because he's directly facing the KV1, which means he's angled for the T34 and the AT2. So he's going to now go for the T34 just because he's a one-shot and it's a tank to get rid of. However, he has lost a few hit points. He's lost quite a few hit points, and mainly that is from the AT2, which has insane armor as well. That is, just look at that AT2, and he decides to shoot HE. He only does 46 damage, but 46 damage is better than no damage. So 2,480 blocked damage. 2,480 blocked damage. It's absolutely insane. People that come to the channel regularly that have grinded up the tiers, you would think that 2,700, now 2,800 damage isn't that great. That's a good number for a tier 10 tank. 2,800 block damage is the kind of damage you'd get in like a Jaegeru or an E100 or an IS-4, anything with armor. That's the kind of damage you're looking at. So to get that in a tier 5 is crazy, is absolutely crazy. So that is the T1 Heavy, an absolutely monster of a tank right now. It used to be a very good tank before, but Wargaming decided to buff its armor, and now it is insane. So definitely it is worth playing for you new people, and if you never played it, if you're a regular, if you're up to tier 10 already and you haven't got that line, it's definitely worth going back and playing this tank. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'm Meadsy69, and I'll catch you soon. Bye bye.